Hi, I'm Claire Ridgway. I'm the author of several books on Anne Boleyn and the Boleyns. I also run the Anne Boleyn Files website. The book that has kind of inspired this series of videos is The Fall of Anne Boleyn, a Countdown, which I wrote a few years ago. And it's a day-by-day account of Anne Boleyn's final days and the events that led to her execution on the 19th of May, 1536. Now, do watch the couple of videos that come before this, 24th of April and 25th of April, because, see, this is chronological, a timeline of the events leading up to her execution. So it's just good for you to get to watch those to sort of understand the context. Okay, the 26th of April. According to Matthew Parker, Archbishop of Canterbury in the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, who of course was the daughter of Queen Anne Boleyn, it was on or around this date in 1536, the 26th of April 1536, so 6 days before the arrest of Queen Anne Boleyn on the 2nd of May, that he met with Queen Anne. Now, he was serving her at the time, he was one of her chaplains, and he had a meeting with her. He was sort of called before her. We don't know exactly what was said. There was no, eyewitness to this meeting. But on that day, Anne spoke words to him that made him feel so bound to her and her daughter Elizabeth, who was just 2 years old at the time. She'd turned 2 in September 1535. That when Elizabeth asked him to be her Archbishop of Canterbury over 20 years later, when she was Queen, he took that office, even though he really, really didn't want it. He didn't feel that he was right for the post. He also had just had a very nasty accident, a horse riding accident, a nasty fall from his horse, and so didn't actually feel even fit enough to take the post. So he really didn't want to be her Archbishop of Canterbury. And in a letter to Sir Nicholas Bacon in March 1559, Matthew Parker wrote, "Though my heart would right fain serve my sovereign lady, the Queen's Majesty, in more respects than of mine allegiance, not forgetting what words her Grace's mother said to me of her, not 6 days before her apprehension, yet this my painful infirmity will not suffer it in all manner servings." Now, I just apologise for any snufflings or snorings you hear in the background. I haven't bored my husband Tim to tears with Tudor history. It's actually my dog Peeper, who is under the desk and is snoring because she's bored by Tudor history, so just ignore her. Going back to 1536 and away from snoring dogs, Matthew Parker also referred to this promise, this something that had happened on this day in 1536 in a letter to William Cecil, Lord Burleigh, in May 1572. William Cecil, of course, being Elizabeth I's right-hand man, her key advisor. Matthew Parker wrote, "Yea, if I had not been so much bound to the mother, I would not so soon have granted to serve the daughter in this place." Now, it is impossible to know what Queen Anne Boleyn said to him on that day in 1536. But as historian Eric Ives points out in his biography of Anne Boleyn, which I would heartily recommend to The Life and Death of Anne Boleyn, he writes, "That charge and the debt he felt he owed to Anne stayed with him for the rest of his life." It was enough of a promise for Parker to take a job that he didn't want, didn't feel right for it, was too ill to do it in reality. And whatever Anne said to him that day, he felt bound to stick to it. He felt bound to serve and help her daughter Elizabeth. Now, had Anne got wind of a plot against her? Did Anne realise that something was going on at court and that she might not be queen for much longer? Or worse, had she kind of even thought that she might not be on earth for much longer? I wonder. I think she must have. I think she must have known that things were happening. Or was it just a big coincidence? I don't think so. But what did she ask Parker? Did she ask him to simply look out for her daughter's spiritual welfare? Or was there a bit more to it? Well, we'll never know because we have no eyewitness. However, as historical novelist Robert Parry, and again, book recommendation, I love his book, Virgin and the Crown. As Robert Parry has noted in his research on Elizabeth I, Matthew Parker was a member of a very influential group of men who'd sort of all met at Cambridge, at the University of Cambridge, or they'd all studied there, they all knew each other, and these men were very influential. And these men all had a part to play in Elizabeth's rise to power, and they were all men that she depended on in her pre-accession days and also after she became queen. These were men like John Cheek, William Grindal, Anthony Cook, Roger Ascham, John Dee, and of course William Cecil. So those men and Matthew Parker. So if Anne Boleyn had made Parker promise to help her daughter, then in some way, then she was putting her daughter's future in very good, very safe, very influential hands. And I'd love to actually write a book, a novel about this, about, Anne Boleyn's meeting with Parker and what was said on that day, and perhaps her sort of setting up her daughter for the future. Perhaps it's too much of a leap. So we don't know what happened between Anne and her chaplain Matthew Parker on the 26th of April 1536, but we know it is something that made a real impact on Matthew Parker and made him serve her daughter faithfully when her daughter became queen. And I just find that very moving. Okay, so that was 26th of April 1536. You can subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button just there and hit the bell to be notified as the videos go live. I'll be with you doing this playlist until the 19th of May, but you can catch my On This Day in Tudor History videos as well. So I will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.